Okay, so this is part 2 where I'm going to show you how to multiply mixed fractions. So let's quickly review over just how to multiply a regular fraction before we go into how to multiply a mixed number. So let's look at one quick example as a quick review, and then we'll jump into this. So remember, when we're multiplying fractions, we just multiply straight across. So let's say if I have 2/5 times 1/4. Again, we just multiply straight across. Multiply my numerator by my numerator, my denominator by my denominator. So 2 times 1, that gives me 2. 5 times 4, that gives me 20. And then, of course, I can't leave it like that, so I'm going to reduce it. What's the number that 2 and 20 have in common? They have 2 in common. So I'm going to divide it by 2, divided by 2, so I get 1/10. And we're done. So now let's apply what we know to mixed numbers. One of the first things we have to know how to convert a mixed number into an improper. So let's practice that a few times. So in this case, let's say if I have 2 and 4/5. So first things first, I'm going to multiply and then add. And as you can see, that's how we get the name Texas. We have to do Texas. So we multiply 2 times 5 plus 4. 2 times 5, that gives me 10, plus 4, that gives me 14/5. There goes my improper fraction. Let's do one more for practice, and then we'll jump into multiplying mixed fractions. Okay, I have 5 1/2. So again, times, add. 5 times 2, that gives me 10, plus 1, that's 11/2. And we're done. Okay, now let's apply our learning to these problems below. So first things first, whenever we have a mixed number, we have to convert it into an improper, which what we were just doing using Texas. And then I could use the same rules that I use while I multiply my numerator by my numerator and my denominator by the denominator. So in this case, times, add. 1 times 2, that's 2, plus 1, that gives me 3. And I'm going to keep my same denominator. Times 3/4. Multiply straight across. I have 9/8. Now, of course, we can't leave it like that. That would be an improper fraction. So I'm going to just divide it. 9/8. 8 goes into 9 one time. And I have 1 left over. So in this case, my fraction would be, here goes my whole number, which is 1. My remainder is my numerator, which is 1. And then my denominator will stay the same, which being 8. So 1 1/8. Okay, let's look at the next one. And again, we're going to do the same thing because I have a mixed number. So 1 times 8, that gives me 8. Plus 3, that gives me 11/8. Times 1/2. And I'm going to just multiply straight across. 11/16. We can't reduce it or simplify it, so we're going to stop right there. Okay, let's look at these last two. Now, if we look at the last two, both of them are mixed numbers. So we have to convert both of them into improper. 2 times 3 plus 1. 2 times 3, that's 6. Plus 1, that gives me 7/3. Times 1 times 4, that's 4. Plus 2, that's 6. 6/4. And then I'm going to multiply straight across. So 7 times 6, that gives me 42. 3 times 4, that gives me 12. And of course, we can't leave it like that. So I'm going to see how many times 12 can go into 42. Goes in there 3 times, 36. And I have 6 left over. So now, again, looking at my whole number, I'm going to go back over here and look. So my whole number is going to be 3. My remainder is going to be my numerator. And my denominator does not change. So let's write that as a fraction. So 3 is my whole number, 6 over 12. And then I can also reduce that down by 6. So in this case, I get 3 1/2. Woo! We did it. Okay, let's look at our last one, and then we'll quickly recap to make sure we understand what we're doing. 5 times 2, that's 10, plus 1, that gives me 11 over 2, times 5 times 2, that's 10, plus 2, that gives me 12 over 5. So again, I'm going to multiply straight across to determine what my answer is. And I get 132 over 10. And now I just need to see how many times 10 can go into 132. Because we can't leave it as an improper. So it goes in there 1 time. That's 10. That's 3. Bring down my 2. And it goes in there 3 times. And I'm going to have 2 left over. So again, whole number is 13. My numerator is 2. And my denominator stays the same, which is going to be 10. And so now I can reduce that down by 2 by 2, and I get 13 1/5. Okay, let's just quickly recap. Again, before we do any kind of multiplying, we need to make sure if I have a mixed number to turn it into an improper. We do that by using Texas, where we times first, and then we add second. Secondly, also make sure you always reduce down. We cannot use or have improper fractions, so if you do, you have to divide like I did to turn it into a mixed number and a fraction part. And then lastly, and most importantly, again, all we're doing is just multiplying numerator by numerator, denominator by denominator. I hope this helps.